This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat, that fire. I got Richyrich in the building. I got Tom Ross in the building. What's up, guys? How you doing today? Richyrich, we'll start with you, man.
It's chilling, man. Just enjoying the week so far. It's been a solid week. Looking forward to the today. Glad that you guys are on the show. We let's hit it. Let's go. Let's hit it.
That's what's up. Tom Ross, man. What's up, man? Talk to us, bro.
Man, doing fabulous. Is ready to get it in, man.
That's what's up, man. First and
First
for,
week.
first, first and foremost, man, we got to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. I want to talk about Kevin Durant. I want to talk about how Kevin Durant is still basically pushing himself regardless. I said, and I liken this Brooklyn Nets team, although they haven't won a championship, I liken it to the 97 and 98 Bulls season. I likened it to that time. And in the 98 and 97, 98 Bulls season, Jordan was the only one by himself basically doing heavyweight lifting. And in the heavyweight lifting that Michael Jordan was doing, Scottie Pippen wasn't there. And we know why Scottie Pippen wasn't there, because of a contract situation. Scottie Pippen, again, found a way to make the situation selfish and about himself. Why did I liken the 97, 98 selfish situation to this situation? Is because Kyrie Irving could have done all of this prior to the season starting. But Kyrie Irving made the choice to do this during the season. And this has had selfish ramifications on the Brooklyn Nets. And because it's had selfish ramifications on the Brooklyn Nets, hence Kevin Durant, just like Michael Jordan, had to find ways to do heavyweight lifting, basically find ways to get other teammates involved. Everybody on the Brooklyn Nets have stepped up and played basketball, all through the leadership of Kevin Durant. This is the same thing that happened in the 97, 98 Bulls season when Michael Jordan leaned on Dennis Rodman. Kevin Durant tried to lean on James Harden, the number 3, but James Harden couldn't do what Dennis Rodman was able to do, because Dennis Rodman was a savant defensively. And see, what people got to understand is Michael Jordan's basketball IQ is so high and it's so off the charts, like John Starks talked about when they asked John Starks, why was it so difficult to play against Michael Jordan? Because with Michael Jordan, he basically mastered the fundamentals. Yes, we're going to break some things down here in basketball. He mastered the fundamentals, but he was able to fly in the air at the same time. And not only did he master the fundamentals, and he was able to fly in the air at the same time, Michael Jordan was also able to have grace, and then he had those big mitts. So he was extremely hard to guard. In the first half of his basketball career, he didn't have that outside game the way that he had developed the outside game. So the Detroit Pistons were able to outmuscle him. The Detroit Pistons were able to rough him up. But you could listen to the Joe Dumarses of the world. John Starks talks about it later on, because I'm not done saying what he said. But the Joe Dumars and the Isaiah Thomas said this is when he became unstoppable. He developed that outside shot. He developed that fadeaway. He developed that mid-range game. He developed that refined game. And then he became an above-average three-point shooter, which screwed us up big time, because now we couldn't account for him. Because if we muff him up on the inside, then he kills us and he dismantles us and he destroys us on the outside. So hence, all of these things, all of these factors have come into play. Well, this is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has mastered the game of basketball both on the inside and the outside. So if Kevin Durant has to put things on his back to hold the fort down, to do what he has to do, he's going to do that. This is an NBA season. The Brooklyn Nets are still title contenders. Last time I checked, with or without Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving just puts them over the top. Kyrie Irving just puts them basically in a position where nobody can compete with them. But minus Kyrie Irving, they are still title contention type team. And Kevin Durant is still Kevin Durant last time I checked. But if you guys have been paying attention and watching as of late, James Harden has come to the realization that he can't play the way that he was playing with the Houston Rockets, that he has to actually go back to not a 6-man role, because he's never going to do that again, that would obviously be ideal for him. Like Ross mentioned last week, that would be the perfect scenario. I would want to see him do that, come off the bench. But what he talked about is when he started for the OKC, he went back and did research and study on that, and he saw that he was still basically being a guy that wasn't trying to have the ball in his hands for a significant period of time. He was right there to be an accessory, an accessory piece, a piece that was there to just uplift the team, give them a boost. So he's figuring that out in the starting lineup, and hence you're seeing that translation is correlating itself in basketball games. So now there's not a situation where he's snuffing Kevin Durant from being Kevin Durant or snuffing other players from being who they are. And there's the added bonus. The referees have also looked at James Harden and said, you know what, James Harden, we're going to swallow up the whistle a little bit. We're going to give you some calls. So that has helped. But the bottom line is the Brooklyn Nets have more than enough pieces on their team to figure it out. They still got LaMarcus Aldridge. They still got Paul Millsap. They still got Patty Mills. They still got Bruce Brown. They still got a squad there. The question is, are they going to continue to do what they got to do to get the job done? The Eastern Conference, outside of the Milwaukee Bucks, outside of the Miami Heat, and outside of maybe, if we're being honest with ourselves, maybe, I don't know. I would say outside of the Miami Heat, outside of the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe the New York Knicks. Because the New York Knicks, although they are showcasing themselves as a top 3 team, we don't know if the New York Knicks are going to last like that. They're still new. They're still raw. That's why I said maybe the New York Knicks. Outside of those teams, there's not that many teams that the Brooklyn Nets cannot not compete with. They can compete with all of those other teams. And last time I checked, how many teams are there in basketball? Isn't there 16 on both sides? Isn't there 32 fucking teams? So if there's 16 on both sides and there's 32 teams, and in the Eastern Conference you got 16 teams, even if you got 4 teams that give you problems, that's 12 other teams that you can ramalang without Kyrie Irving. So that's a 12-4 split in your conference that you can basically dominate. This is the strategy that the New England Patriots used to use. You want to know why Tom Brady was so great at what he did? It's not because Tom Brady was great like that. It was because Tom Brady understood, okay, I'm playing 12 games. Most of these games I'm going to be playing against a lot of these garbage-ass teams in the AFC. We're going to dominate them. Every time we play against these garbage teams, we're going to win. We're not going to lose these games. So that when we do play the hard games, and if we lose, so what? And then you know what ended up happening? They always end up 12-4, 13-3. That strategy worked beautifully. This is the strategy that I want to see Kevin Durant and them employ. And the reason why I'm asking them to employ this strategy is because Kyrie Irving is not there. When it's all said and done, that's a huge piece to lose. That's a heavyweight lifting piece to lose. And when you lose a piece like that, you need to figure out methods to make the game easy for you. And that's the easy peasy way to do it. If you look at the Chicago Bulls in the 97-98 team, when Scottie Pippen wasn't there, the Bulls was ramalanging the teams that they knew they could beat. And the hard games that they played, even if they lost, Michael Jordan's mentality was, as long as we gave them a run for it and they knew they felt our presence, that in of itself was more than enough until Pippen came back. And then once Pippen came back, they were the Chicago Bulls. We know that Kyrie Irving's eventually going to come back for the Brooklyn Nets. We know that. But this is the strategy that I would like to see the Brooklyn Nets employ. You play the easiest teams, dominate them. Now they're on this 6-game road trip. This 6-game road trip is going to let us know their true identity and who they are as a basketball team minus Kyrie Irving. If they go 4-2 on this 6-game road trip minus Kyrie Irving, that's a success to me. That's a high success. Because I don't take a lot of stock in regular season basketball, but there's 2 things in regular season basketball that I take stock in. And these guys are going to share it. There's these games that have what we call a championship atmosphere type of game. where you know it's a team that you potentially may face in the NBA Finals, or a team that you may potentially face in a high level of the NBA playoffs, whether it's the third round. And when you face a team like that, what you guys have to realize is you got to bring it. You gotta let that team know that you're going to keep the foot on their necks and that you're going to ingratiate dominance on them. And you're not going to give them no room. And then the second version of what you want to win is road games. The reason why you want to win road games is because road games showcase to everyone that you are a legit team, that you can go in somebody's home and dominate them, especially when the road stretch has teams that are in the top 5. When you can dominate teams that are in the top 5 during a road team stretch, that means that you are legit. That means you stand out. And that right there is going to give you the confidence. It's going to give you the wherewithal. It's going to give you basically the swag that you need going into the postseason to know that you can reciprocate and do this again when the game slows down into a half-court set. These are the things that I want to see the Brooklyn Nets do. They do this, we should be good to go. Richyrich, what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, you made some good points there. The Brooklyn Nets, I mean, they're winning games, and they're actually doing it by limiting teams on the defensive end. I'll caught a game during this week. I believe they were playing the Atlanta Hawks, and I remember that game they played with the Atlanta Hawks last year. That game was insanely high scoring. I think it went to like what was it, like 260, almost 270s.
Yeah.
That Brooklyn Nets team last season didn't play defense, but now they're winning games by playing defense, by putting lots of pressure on the ball handler coming down. Trae Young, they played some really good defense on him and some of their other scorers on the go-to guys on that team. And I'm glad that Steve Nash realized that you're not gonna win many ball games if you can't stop anybody. And they went and acquired guys that can help them out on that end. Basically Paul Millsap, Bembry, Javon Carter, James Johnson. These aren't sexy names, but these are guys that are gritty. These are guys that get after it. You know what I'm saying? If you know those type of NBA players, and they're showing why they're valuable, because they're helping the Nets out in that aspect of defense. You can't really rely on James Harden because he likes to focus on the offensive end. He's not a guy that puts a lot of effort on the defensive end. So you need to cover for a guy like that. Kyrie Irving can play defense now. And we all know why he's special, why they need him, why they're missing him, but they're figuring out ways to manage without playing without him, and that's pretty good to see them do that. Go out there and win ball games without Kyrie Irving not playing. But I feel that they're still missing something. Even without Kyrie being on the floor, I feel that they still need like a rebounder, somebody that could help with the shot blocking. Because what's his name? Nick Claxton, he's injured. He's not playing currently, but in that game against the Heat, he got bullied in that game by Bam Adebayo and Dwayne Dedmon. That was concerning. And LaMarcus Aldridge, he's gonna help out from the big man position. He helps out. He gives them a stretch big that can rebound, that can post. He's blocking shots as well, but they're kind of thin in that front court. With their front court, they need to add more depth. They have assets. I feel that's their only weakness as of right now, because defense, I feel that they got that. Offense, we know they got that, even with Kyrie Irving out. But they're gonna need Kyrie against these teams like Milwaukee and Miami Heat. There's no way they get by these teams without having Kyrie Irving. Maybe Miami Heat, but not Milwaukee. They definitely need Milwaukee. They definitely need Kyrie Irving when they face Milwaukee Bucks, because Kyrie Irving, like you said, puts them over the top. Without Kyrie, I feel like these guys, Milwaukee, they're gonna be able to go go at James Harden and it's gonna be all on KD's hands. KD's hands to have to do the heavyweight lifting, and he might get gashed like he did last season, where he hits a game winner and then they go into overtime. They could push it to 7 games. They go into an overtime setting, and Milwaukee they just have all the energy in the world, and KD has to carry it, and he just gets gassed again. This is why he needs another prolific scorer, another guy he can rely on to hit timely baskets in the fourth quarter to help him bring it home. You know,
I
he
don't think
won't be
he's
able
going to
to.
get gas. One interjection. I don't think he's going to get gas because this is not him coming off an Achilles. He's now coming into a full training camp, a full progressive season where he's just starting from the scratch. So I don't think he's going to be worn out. I think he could re-injure himself. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to, that stuff too. You don't want to try to see him do too much because he's come back from some very serious injuries from a guy playing at his height. You know, the Achilles and the metatarsal injury on his foot a few years before. And you don't want to see him have to do too much. You know what I'm saying? That's why they need Kyrie. James Harden, man, he still kind of irks me the way he plays. Like if he loses a turnover, he'll give up on a play. He's just somebody, man, that doesn't. You could just see it. This guy is not giving 100% effort on the floor, majority times in the game, man. And I don't like that. So they need Kyrie Irving there, man. They're really gonna need Kyrie Irving, not against the teams that we know that they can beat, but the teams that are pose a serious threat. They need that dude, man, because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, man, those dudes. We know what KD is can do. We know what Kyrie can do. Kyrie showed us. If Kyrie Irving could take anybody one-on-one, that dude is ambidextrous. He's probably the most skilled offensive point guard in the NBA. From what if we compare him to all these other point guards, he needs that weapon on the floor with him against these more potent teams. That's where I rest my case with him. But I noticed someone left a comment in the thing about that new mayor that's getting appointed to New York in January. That guy made a comment about Kyrie. He said that he's not changing the mandate. So that's going to be on Kyrie Irving, man. So if Kyrie Irving is still on that stance, man, what is he going to do? Is he going to continue not showing up? You know, not going to take the vaccine. What is he going to do? Because if he's not going to come, man, like he's going to have to make a decision, and that mayor just put the fire to his feet right there. That new mayor that's getting appointed, he said he ain't going to change the mandate for Kyrie. He's not going to give Kyrie that leniency, and Kyrie's going to have to either take the vaccine or find another way to be able to rejoin the Nets and play home and away games. So that's kind of like another rut in the Brooklyn Nets going, the Brooklyn Nets season right there. Because what's Kyrie's stance now? You know, that's my question. That's why I'm trying to figure out what Kyrie's going to do now, because they're not going to make a special accommodation for him, man. So he's going to have to figure it out. What is he going to do?
What's your take on it, Russ?
My take on it is, in a regular season, you could piece things together. You could chewing gum and rubber band it together, and win some games. But you know, you don't play for regular season success. You play for championship success. I don't see the Nets winning a championship without Kyrie. With that being said, the Nets have to find a way, or they have to get in their mind that Kyrie's not coming back. And if he comes back, it's a plus. But we have to figure out how are we going to mitigate Kyrie coming back, because KD playing hero ball wasn't going to work for so long, man. Not because he's not great, but because that wears on you. To have to win every game by me taking over every game, like, come on, man. You see what it did to Kobe? Kobe would have had some extra years left in his career. But toward the end of his career, Kobe had to carry a team every fourth quarter. It was do or die. That shit wears on you, man. So right now they're I think fourth in the Eastern Conference. They're trending up. They're definitely trending up. But if we're pushing ahead, to playoff basketball, you're gonna need Kyrie because at that time they basically take away your best option. KD's gonna be seeing a lot of double teams. He's gonna be getting a lot. They're gonna be pushing the ball. They're gonna be pushing the ball out, extending the perimeter. You're gonna need Kyrie in there to break that down. You think you'll be able to depend on a James Harden, but a lot of his game is all fair weather. Say what you want about Kyrie, but Kyrie got the heart of a lion when you play basketball, man. It don't matter if they down or not. He gonna always give you your best foot forward. James Harden, he missed a couple of shots. He don't get a couple of calls, and he pretty much quit, man. He pretty much quits. And he's a liability defensively. He can't guard nobody. So my suggestion for the Brooklyn Nets is to go to a motion offense that's not ball centric. They don't have the guards to do that. KD can't play that way, but you don't want KD being your primary ball handler. KD's an off the ball, on the wing destroyer. You don't want him playing the whole game like that. You want him getting the ball out the wing. That way he could cut the defense up when they swing it to the weak side. You don't want him in the middle trying to make a play that they can just collapse on him. He can handle the ball, but he's not that great of a handler. He's not that level. That's where Kyrie operates at. That's when you need a point guard to make those quick decisions when they just collapse on you and shit. Yeah, they need to change their offense right now with Kyrie not in there so it could be more fluid. Because James Harden, he's a ball stopper, man. He's a ball stopper. As soon as he gets it, he's like LeBron, he's like Westbrook. It's either they're gonna shoot or they have to make D play. They never make the swing pass that leads to the play. They hold the ball so they can try to make the play. They could get the stat. That's bad basketball, man. You have to be a bona fide stud to play basketball that way. The reason why Kobe and Jordan can do that because they're gonna hit the shot or get fouled or some shit. When you come up empty and you held the ball for 24 seconds, it's a horrible play, man. It's a horrible play. You got to get that ball swinging around. And motion will get that ball moving around, man. And KD can play out the ball easy. And they won't be able to focus on him and double team him because they'll always be moving around. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as LeBron James is concerned, or did you say we were talking about that? You muted. I think you muted. He knows you muted.
All right, you hear me? Yeah. I'm agreeing with you. Okay. I guess because I'm muted, it's looking like I'm saying something. So let me not say nothing then.
Yeah, no, I was saying we're talking about LeBron as well. Yeah.
We're gonna segue into the Lakers, but you're still talking about the Brooklyn Nets, right?
Yeah. And I was about to start talking about LeBron, but I didn't want to go too quick.
Okay. All right.
But I was done talking about Brooklyn.
Okay. All right, good. So
yeah, so I guess it's some technical difficulties right now.
Yeah,
here it goes.
I have to be careful. Because I'm on the phone, and any little trigger I do messes things up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Zeddy Perry. Here's the thing. Things are new now. This is the panel here. It's me, Ross, and Richyrich. This is what the panel is going to be in terms of basketball. But anybody that wants to show up on the panel, things are different now. To get on the panel, you got to donate. So you want 5 minutes, you got to give me $5. You want 15 minutes, you got to give me $15. You want 20 minutes, you got to give me $20. So Zeddy, you want to get on? However long you want to get on, the donation has to match that. So you want 30 minutes, $30. 50 minutes, $50. An hour, $60. You see, we're doing the math here. You want 2 hours, we can give you 2 hours. Just make sure for those 2 hours, you donate 120. All right. All right. Now that's already been established because those are the rules of engagement. So basically what I'm saying is be satisfied with the panel that's in front of you, because you're not going to get basketball at the highest level no better than what you listening but from the panel here. Now on to the next topic, the fakers. We're talking about Russell Westbrook of Russville, and we're talking about Carmelo Anthony. They lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, even though that happened a few days ago. They were up by 19 points. They gave up a 19-point deficit. And in them giving the 19-point deficit, they turned around and they lost the basketball game, 107 to 104. This is what people got to understand when we think of the game of basketball with the fakers. We've already talked about it week in and week out. We prepped you guys. We prepped your basketball minds. And we told you guys that the fakers are what they are, fakers. You have Russell Westbrook of Russville, a guy who's turnover prone, a guy who's sitting here and basically turnovering the ball left and right. This guy right here is a team obliterator. It took for you guys to deal with this guy on the Los Angeles Fakers to understand what Kevin Durant had to deal with. Kevin Durant is owed back taxes. He's owed Russell Westbrook of Russville back taxes for having to deal with this guy for 9 fucking years, man. That's 9 years of his life that was wasted. All because of the fact that Kevin Durant didn't have a guy who dedicated to being a number 2 option. And then let's go even further. Carmelo Anthony. This is why I told you guys that both of these guys have been exposed. LeBron James is not playing. Oh, we're going to get on LeBron. He doesn't have an injury. LeBron James is not hurt. Why is he sitting out basketball games? Y'all sat here and got on Kyrie. Y'all sat here and got on Kawhi Leonard last year. Sometimes I mix Kawhi and Kyrie's name. I don't know why I do that sometimes. Y'all sat here and got on Kawhi Leonard last year for load managing. When you guys know that Kawhi Leonard had a very good reason why he's been load managing since the San Antonio Spurs days. Because the San Antonio Spurs doctors understood what other teams have been understanding with this guy and his medical prognosis. That if you overplay this guy, he can become a bone-on-bone Brandon Roy, a bone-on-bone Dwayne Wade situation. And hence his NBA career could be shortened or non-existent. So you have to put him on load manage. Some basketball players are just brittle that way. Everybody's not built durable to last a full wherewithal and go so many years of playing basketball and then they break down. Like a Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is durable as shit. But eventually he broke down. A lot of basketball players, believe it or not, are more T-Mac-ish, are more Grant Hill-ish, are more Anthony Hardaway-ish. They get ailments earlier on in their career, and because they get the ailments earlier on in their career, it affects their abilities. What is LeBron James' excuse? Let's bring up this LeBron tard right here. So Kawhi gets no. We're talking about LeFraud James. Are you listening, you LeBron tard? I love when LeBron tards come in because I get to poke fun of you guys. Look at your profile pic. It tells me everything I need to know about you. You shade your face out. See, LeBron tards are ashamed of themselves. That's why they shade their face out. If you wasn't afraid of yourself, you wouldn't shade your face out. But I understand why you shade your face out, because you don't want the world to know that you represent a guy who is a 40% performer and averager. I get it. Kawhi Leonard had a legitimate surgery. So go sit your ass down. Kawhi Leonard proved himself when he came back after the legitimate surgery for him to basically focus in the music realm. Kawhi Leonard is showing genius in other ways. By the way, his album is doing really fucking good. But Kawhi Leonard proved to you guys that there was a medical prognosis. There was an issue going on with him. There was an underlying issue, and you guys felt really stupid. But you LeBron tards, because now you laughing at what I said because you knew it was funny. I love poking at you, you guys. What is LeBron James' excuse? Why is LeBron James sitting out games? I didn't hear anything about him being hurt. I didn't hear any prognosis saying that he has even a groin injury. I didn't hear nobody come out from the medical team to say that LeBron James is hurt. What I heard is that LeBron James needed R&R time with his family. So now we're going to give basketball players R&R time with their family. Let me tell you the bigger picture here. I know that's the Los Angeles Lakers or Fakers excuse. I'm going to tell you why LeBron James is sitting out. LeBron James is sitting out because LeBron James don't know how to play with Russell Westbrook. And he's got to give himself time. He's got to give himself a reprieve because he has to fundamentally change his game. Do you understand, Ross? Do you understand, Richyrich, that LeBron James is taking the most threes that he's ever taken in his NBA career this season? That's because he doesn't have an identity of who he is because of the fact that he's playing with Russell Westbrook.
And they do the same things.
And they do the same things. And that's why LeBron James is sitting out. Now, Carmelo Anthony, he proved himself and he reared his ugly head. Because what happened in that OKC game? We saw more of the same. You know, there's a terminology that says familiarity breeds complacency. And in the familiarity that breeds complacency, we know that Russell Westbrook of Russville is going to be what he's always been, a Russell Westbrook of Russville. And we know that Carmelo Anthony is always going to be what Carmelo Anthony's always been, a ball isolation stopper. He isolates the basketball. He stops the basketball because now you're not having fluid movement of transition and offense from one player to the next. And then he tries to score everything. That's exactly what happened in that OKC game. And that's why the Oklahoma City Thunder was able to come back from 19 points and dominate them 107-104. And you know what they also did in that game, Ross? You know what they also did in that game, Richyrich? They didn't give the ball to Anthony Davis. You know how many times Anthony Davis was like hitting his, you know how guys hit their hands on their thigh, like, what the fuck, man? What y'all doing? You got the best player on your team, the most prominent player on your team, and Russell Westbrook of Russville tries to go for the shot. Westbrook.
So many air balls, too.
Yes. So many boinks. And then you got Carmelo Anthony thinking that he's reliving his Denver Nuggets days, and he goes in ISO mode and he tries to take the game over. Well, he has to realize is he's slower. He's lost steps. And his half-court game, if you double team him, you can get those cookies every time, man. That could create transitional basketball. That's how they erased the 19-point deficit. They was ripping the ball from Carmelo Anthony's old fogey ass that's played on the basketball court. And then you got Dwight Howard. Why is he still on the team? I don't know. The second that I was told that Dwight Howard got into a fight with Anthony Davis, my best player, I would have been trading his big group troop ass a long time ago. Because that fight in the locker room could have caused a serious injury. Now Anthony Davis could have been not playing basketball. That's what people don't realize. Me and Ross talked about this the other day. When people fight, people can get injured. You want to avoid fighting as much as you can, but if you have no choice but to fight, you fight. But fighting is not something you welcome, because in fighting, motherfuckers get fucked up. If I knew that Dwight Howard was going to potentially beat up Anthony Davis, I would have had him off the team a mile away a long damn time ago. So Dijon, like the mustard, Dijon mustard, damn, not only do you have a shaded out profile, Your name sounds like a name you could intermingle with Dijon fucking mustard, which is the worst mustard to ever have. It's the most tart mustard, and it's the most I don't know how you would say it. Basically, the mustard you would take a crap on. I mean, this is what we're dealing with here. LeBron tars that are telling us worry about the Nets. No, you worry about your damn team. We're gonna be all right. Last time I checked, we're gonna make the playoffs. Can you make the playoffs? Can you get past the first round? Can you not be left first rounded? These are the questions you're gonna have to ask yourself. Because Devin Booker, last time I checked, left first rounded LeBron James. So the fakers, guys, are gonna get exposed this year. And LeBron James just needed time so that he can go sit down with his therapist and try to ask the therapist, how do I play with Russell Westbrook? And you know what his therapist told him? Because he went right back into the game. Therapists usually are able to give you some kind of answer. They're able to get you to see the big picture. They're able to get you to see the situation more than meets the eyes, right? They transform the situation right in front of your eyes. You know what LeBron James' therapist told him? This one right here, you got one or two choices, LeBron. You can either fire me or you can find a way to get Russell Westbrook off the team because I can find an advice from a mental health standpoint to help you out in this situation. So what is it going to be? Clearly, LeBron James fired the therapist because LeBron James is right in the stands, pouting, sitting down in his clothes, trying to figure out how the fuck do I do this? Because if LeBron had a solution, you would have seen him dress right back up, don his fucking jersey, and be right out there on the basketball court. When you got LeBron James of all people taking 3-point shots, that's the worst person you want to take 3-point shots. You got that guy taking 3-point shots as if he's the Stephen Currys of the world. You already know you're in a bad position. But you know what, guys, before I get off, LeBron James don't got nobody else to blame but himself. And you want to know why I say that? Because LeBron James was the main one that said Russell Westbrook is invited to play with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was right there signing that shit off. That's all I got to say.
You want me to go? I'll go.
Yeah, you can go ahead this round, Ross, first.
I'll go. Okay, so LeBron James reminds me a lot of the prototypical quarterbacks that a lot like Canelo in a sense. They need the perfect situation to be successful. And if they don't have that,
Yep.
they can't muscle their way. They can't MacGyver their way. They can't adapt and overcome. LeBron James must have the best shooters, must have someone to protect the rim. And right now he don't have that. So instead of being a man trying to figure it out on the court, he don't want to waste LeBron James does everything for stats. He do not want to get out on that court and have bad games trying to figure the shit out. So he just won't play until they figure it out. He can come in. He's not going to really come back until he can do his regular 26, 6, and 6, and they win no matter what he do. He don't want to play on a team where he got to drop 40, 40, 40, where he depending on to drop 35. He depending on to get 25 rebounds. He wants to be able to do the LeBron James shit, 26, 6, and 6, and say, I did my part.
Yep.
Because, like I said, him being like the Canelos of the world, him being like the prototypical quarterbacks, they need everybody else to make them successful. They don't have that Kobe Bryant gene. They don't got that. They don't got that Michael Jordan gene, that Errol Spence, that Floyd Mayweather in them, that could win even when the odds are stacked against them. Everything must be perfect. Everything. And the NBA always AQS to them. So, as horrible as they're playing, guess what? I know they're going to be in the playoffs. Somehow, some way, shit going to be going their way. They're going to be getting calls. They're going to start stacking on wins. And you're going to see these motherfuckers in the playoffs. You could be like, how did this happen? They don't even got a fluid team. Because the NBA need them in the playoffs. Because they're going to lose too much ratings. They're going to end up in the fucking playoffs. Are they going to win? Probably not. It just all depends. But that goes to show you just how much help LeBron James needs, man. When you watch him play, it always seems like the game is rigged. It don't never seem like a real game. It's always some shit. 3 or 4 phantom calls at the end of the play. All of a sudden, Lakers go to the line 6 times. They cut the lead down to 4 without the clock even moving. Like, it's always some weirdo shit when LeBron James is playing, man.
Yep.
It reminds me of TB12. I like TB12. But TB12 got a lot of help. There's always some shit. Tuck rules. Out of nowhere, they making up rules on the spot.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? Keep the game going. Making some shit up on the spot for this motherfucker to win. Like Canelo last night.
Yep.
Yeah, he get his ears boxed off him.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Caleb Plant forget how to fight. It's always some shit.
You know what happened with that one. The Las Vegas mobsters looked at Caleb Plant and told him, if you continue on this route and you walk away with the victory, we'll let you celebrate. But as soon as you get out of that stadium, we picking you, your family, and your team apart.
Right, it's not gonna be good for you.
Nope.
In this fight.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how it feels like every time I watch LeBron James play, especially in a big game, it's always some shit, yo. Especially in the playoffs.
Yep.
His championship runs, when you look at him, it's always been some crazy. I remember the first one with the Heat. They were playing against New York when Carmelo was still balling. They called 12 fouls in a row and got these motherfuckers back in the game.
Exactly.
Then after that, I started watching basketball for a couple of years after that.
Yep.
If it wasn't a Lakers game, I wasn't watching it. I wasn't watching. This guy knew Kobe was on his last legs. I started watching basketball. I was like, this is fucking rigged, bro. They went to the line 12 times, got them back in the game, and they beat New York.
Yep.
The rest beat New York, man. So I'm like, man, every time LeBron. So that's my thing. You can really tell the character of a person by who their favorite players be, man.
Exactly.
People's favorite player is LeBron James, or their favorite fighter is Canelo. They normally some fraudulent, fluky motherfuckers, man.
Yep.
They people you can't trust, man. If you need to win, you got to make them clap so they don't steal nothing in your house, man. And if they start clapping, you know they doing some shit. You got to be like, hey, clap till I get back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're a fucking thief. These people who LeBron James fans, they used to get caught stealing a lot when they were little, man.
Facts.
They were some thieves, man. Yeah, think about what type of mindset where you can be like, yo, I know this shit fake, but the popular thing to do is be this guy's fan, so fuck it, I'm gonna be his fan, man. The shit is so. At the end of the day, I pretty much said what I gotta say on that, man. I don't got nothing else to add. It's just disgusting.
Richyrich, what's your take, man, on LeBron James low managing?
I mean, you already know the deal, man, with these Lakers. You know, this is what this man wanted. You know, he's the one that went to Rob Pelinka and co-signed, you know, this is what I want, Russell Westbrook. You know, he wanted that sexy name. He wanted an MVP. That's what he wanted. And this is what, you know, this is what he's going to get. You know, Russell Westbrook, man, he's an enigma. That's what they call this dude because 15 seasons in, and this dude still hasn't figured out how to play basketball and a team concept, you know what I'm saying, or refined his game or evolved his game. He still has the same game he had when he came into the league. That's mind-boggling. I just don't understand. And he's wondered why he hasn't done anything since KD left him. You know, KD, you know, he's being vindicated every time, you know, they see what Russell Westbrook is doing night in and night out playing for that Los Angeles Lakers team. They didn't just drop that Thunder game. They dropped back-to-back games. They dropped that game against Portland where they lost to the Portland Trailblazers by 15 points last night, I believe. And Portland, it's not like they were playing good. They were playing bad basketball. Damian Lillard has like all-time lows, man. Ever since averaging all-time lows since he's averaged at the start of his rookie season. He just had a good game yesterday where he finally scored in the 20s. Before that, Damian Lillard was scoring like 18, 17 points. And the Trailblazers were either, winning game or losing games. They up and down this season. But Westbrook, Lillard, he owns Westbrook. That's his baby right there. He always be spanking Westbrook every time he face him, man, head to head. So I kind of felt that was going to be a W for the Blazers, even though they were struggling, because Lillard always gets the winning side every time he plays against Westbrook, just like Curry. Curry always spanking Westbrook's ass. You know what I'm saying? Because Westbrook, man, that IQ of his is just terrible, man. Like, you wonder, how can this guy is a dude that's averaged a triple-double the last 3 seasons. But when you look at his stats and when you watch him, man, that's when you know that sometimes stats are a lie, man. Yep. It's all about that's why you need to watch the game. You need to watch the game and you need to observe what's going on, because stats are a lie. We got casuals. All they don't even watch games. They go to the stat report. Oh, see, he balled out. He did what he was supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. He averaged. He got his assists. He got his numbers. But they don't realize there's a thing actually that kind of shows what a dude is doing on and off the court when they're showing their plus minus. Mm-hmm. And that's a stat as well. When that thing is in the negative, that means that you're a detriment to your team.
Right.
When it's in the plus, that means you're helping your team out.
Yep.
Westbrook a lot of times is in the minus, man. It doesn't matter what stats he's putting on the floor. That guy be a minus on the floor, a minus 15, minus 14. He is a detriment to a team, man. When that guy
always
grows an ego, that boy's nickname is Sabo. That's short for sabotage. That's Russell Westbrook's nickname. Seriously, bro. Sabo, sabotage, bro. That's what he does. When that dude gets in his feelings, you know he about to sabotage something, man. When he thinks like, oh, well, I should have taken that last shot. They're not gonna give me credit. That boy is about to do something that's about to kill a team's chance. His team chances of pulling through a game, a very important game. He always does that, and he still hasn't learned. Now he's in his hometown, so he got to rep. He got to rep big for his hometown. You think he gonna let LeBron James show him up in his hometown? You think he gonna let AD show him up in his hometown? That boy didn't just come here to just come along for the ride, man. That boy, he wants to be a big reason why they win, and that's gonna be to the detriment to the team. That's a fact right there. AD's already experiencing it. He's seeing that, damn, this dude ain't gonna pass me the ball in certain situations. He's just gonna go out and take the shot for himself, because he feels that he's on that level. He could bring us home, which he can't. AD always getting hurt. In the Portland game, they said he was throwing up. He had to be taken out of the game. He had some type of virus. The game before, in the Thunder game, he had some hand issue where he had to be taken out of the game. They call that boy Anthony Day 2 Davis. That boy always got to be taken out of a game. Something always wrong with him. LeBron James got a so-called
Mr. Glass
abdominal strain, which if he really does, if you go do some research on that type of injury, it's a 1 to 2 month injury. So if LeBron James really does have that type of injury, he's going to be out for a little minute, and this team is going to be struggling more. And that's not a good sign for them, because how are they going to build chemistry if LeBron James is out and he's not building chemistry with Westbrook? He's never played with Westbrook, and we see it's not working out so far. And, Westbrook and AD, they're not working out either, because he's taking possessions away from AD. And he's basically wasting possessions on offense, turning over the ball, or even taking ill-advised shots. You got LeBron that's out, that's not even playing with these guys. LeBron thinks he's some type of basketball savant. That fool don't realize he gonna learn real quick. He gonna find himself in that playing again, just like last season, messing around doing this load manage. It ain't gonna work out for them. They're gonna have to go into a play-in, and they either gonna see the Warriors, Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets, or Utah, and they're gonna get bounced in the first round again. I'm telling you. He thinks he's some type of basketball savant. Oh, I could take these games off and I could come anytime I want, and it's gonna work out perfectly with Westbrook and AD. I'm gonna figure out a way. You guys just watch. They don't call me the Mr. Basketball IQ for nothing. I'm Mr. Basketball savant. It's gonna fit like a glove. That's what LeBron James thinks he is, man. And he keeps. If he was so Mr. Basketball savant, like he knows, always explains, he wouldn't be a 40% averager. Why does he have that percentage in the finals? If he's a Mr. Basketball savant, like the media tries to portray him as, if he fits in with everybody so well, look what he did to Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh's careers. They basically took a dump on these two dudes because it was all about LeBron James when he came down here in Miami. If they didn't win, they took a dump on him. They win, LeBron gets all the success. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. This is why Kyrie did his ass dirty and left him. If they win, LeBron gets all the success. If they lose, they take a dump on the rest of the team. LeBron is not no Mr. Basketball savant, and it's not going to work that he's out missing these games. He needs to be out there with Russell Westbrook and AD figuring it out, because if he's not, this season is already over for them because they're not building proper chemistry. And you see, I already know what LeBron is doing because he's done it with the Cleveland Cavaliers and he's done it with the Miami Heat. They're waiting to see if these pieces are fitting in. If you already know what's going to happen, he knows, Tom Ross. If they don't happen, they're going to trade them mother effers. They're going to have some mid-season trade. Listen, it's typical with LeBron James' team. This is what he does every damn team that he's on. Mid-season trades are going to happen. That's why these boys, I don't know, Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Horton Tucker, I don't know why y'all signed on with them Lakers. Wayne Ellington, y'all boys gonna be trade bait. Listen, if I'm a free agent, the last place I'm going to play is with LeBron, because if things ain't working out, he gonna use me as trade bait. I ain't playing with that mother effer. Hell no. It don't make no sense. Just so he can try to find a way to improve his teams. If he don't think you are a proper piece, he even did that to his own boy Dwayne Wade when Dwayne Wade decided to go play with the Cavs. Come on, man. If he did it to D Wade, what makes you think he ain't gonna do it to another NBA player? Mm-hmm. Come on now. But these Lakers, man, they're just too old. They don't fit. You can already see it. They don't have 3-point shooting. They don't have perimeter defense. They got the rebounding, they got the shot blocking, but they don't have 3-point shooting, and they don't have perimeter deep. That's their Achilles heel right now. And this is what LeBron James is paying attention to. He's like, damn, we don't got none of these two. How can I use these guys that I have on this team currently to make sure we could trade for what we need going into the season, so that we could be formidable in the playoffs? That's what LeBron James is thinking. He ain't stupid. Because he's always made these mid-season trades, and that's what he's paying attention to. He's seeing that the pieces don't fit together right now, and he's observing. And this is why he might be sitting out right now. Maybe, like Tom Ross said, sitting back, just watching, seeing how these guys play without him, and seeing what pieces fit and what pieces don't. And I wouldn't be surprised if I see that mid-season trade come through, because I know it's going to come through. I'm done with the talk.
And don't be surprised if it's Westbrook.
Yep.
Don't be surprised if it's Westbrook.
And they need to.
People have always said LeBron James makes players good.
Yep.
No, he don't. LeBron James consistently does the same thing every game. Mm-hmm. They put players around LeBron James to allow him to get his stats.
Facts.
They play for LeBron James stats first, wins second. Yep. Because if they didn't, they'll have 6 rings and 4 losses. Now 4 rings and 6 losses.
Yep.
They put this dude his happiness before championships.
Exactly.
Because he has that mindset of, I don't have to sacrifice anything for the team. I am the team. I'm David Ruffin. Y'all just the Temptations. That's how he act. LeBron James, he's David Ruffin, man. Like, he's not a part of a band. Like, he's David Ruffin and the Temptations.
Yep.
Why you think they kicked David Ruffin out of the group? They was never known as one person and anything. It was always the Temptations. David Ruffin was asked to be in the group, and then all of a sudden he wanted to take the group over. He wanted them to be a subset of him. LeBron James don't have teammates. He has people who are extensions of himself. He don't have teammates. He don't develop nobody. Everybody that come play with LeBron James, they stats get worse.
Exactly.
Because he tried to do everything.
Yep.
Everything. And it don't make sense if the stats were LeBron James is supposed to rebound the ball. He should be a better rebounder of the ball. Right? But you ever seen how he be getting his rebounds? LeBron James be jumping and getting rebounds over his own people. He be so crazy with stats.
Exactly.
He be snatching boards over his own center for the triple double. Like, damn.
Yep.
You know how many triple doubles Kobe would have had if he chased triple doubles?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe will be on 10 rebounds, 20-some points, and 9 assists, and he'll go sit out the rest of the game if they win it. These boys chase stats. They care more about stats than they do victories. And it's just a microcosm of what we are as a people, man. We give a fuck. We care more about what things look like than what it actually is. Niggas want to get their stats, man. That's it. Motherfuckers want to go get their stats. They don't care about winning. As long as they got a personal victory, man, I dropped 30 on such and such. Like, we lost though. Like, man, okay. I dropped 30 on Damian Lillard. That's how Westbrook thinks. Westbrook don't care whether they win or lose, as long as he get a triple-double. He don't give a fuck. And LeBron don't care as long as he get his 26, 6, and 6. That's all he care about. If he get 5 assists that game, it's gonna be hell to pay in the locker room. He don't even give a fuck if they want him. Like, man, y'all missed 2 layups, man. Y'all messed me up with my 26, 6, and 6. That's what he care about, man. LeBron James is a fraud, man. And basketball will get so much better when he retires, man. They're gonna have more ratings. They're gonna have more everything. Because right now, LeBron James has made basketball. It's secondary to him. And LeBron and it became him. And he's a stat focused guy, a highlight guy. So now people don't even watch the game. They go to the box score. Go on YouTube, look at the highlights. That's it. The basketball watch percentage is so in the dumps, it don't make no sense. It's ridiculous. People don't watch these games, man. I remember being a little ass boy staying up watching the basketball games, man. Nobody even cares because we already know what's really going to happen. We already be knowing how it's going to be. We have lost interest in sports because we already know somehow, some way, they're going to make LeBron James. If he don't get put out in the first round of playoffs, he going all the way to the finals. We already know this. This is how it goes. He going all the way to the finals, and you going to win, and you going to be like, how the fuck do these guys win? It don't even make no sense how they beat Miami all of a sudden. That shit was rigged, bro. All of a sudden, Miami can't hit no shots. Y'all ain't noticed that? I can't wait for LeBron James to get his fucking ass out of the NBA, man. I'm telling you. I'm tired of this motherfucking dog. I'm so done with this dude, man. Because he don't make the game better. The game has become trash under his watch. Trash. He's not a leader. He's not a spokesman. He took the torch from Kobe, and what he do with it? He let Kobe down, man. He was supposed to make the game better. He made the game fucking worse. All these dudes, all they do is go in that bitch try to get triple doubles every game. Did they get Oscar Robertson talking about LeBron James could be the greatest? Yeah, because that's how you played, motherfucker. That's why you only got one championship. You want to do everything by yourself. I'm through with it, man. I'm through with that shit.
You went in, man. You went in. Hey, listen, man. I'm glad Jamel Knight said real trash talk LOL. He said, like they want to stop me from passing Kareem. A good point. Listen, man, I'm gonna say like this. LeBron James is the most overrated basketball player the NBA's ever seen. We know this to be true. And we need to tell ourselves enough is enough with this nonsense. And the biggest thing is LeBron James uses hyperboles and he uses banter to push his agenda. He's very good at that. If he tells you from a psychological standpoint that I can get into Russell Westbrook's cerebral and that I can manage him, it's his way of taking a dig at Kevin Durant.
Right.
A lot of people don't see that because they're not thinking ahead, but that's exactly what he's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
But see, you got a lot of fire marshal bills out there that are now telling you, and see, this is what the biggest thing with fire marshal bill, creating the fires, but unable and unwilling to put out the smoke. Dropping videos saying Anthony Davis needs to be traded now. Come on, man. Are you fucking kidding me? Anthony
Right.
Davis? As if Anthony Davis is the problem?
He the best player on the team.
That's why he's a fucking comedy skit. That's why you guys can't take him seriously from a basketball standpoint in terms of him giving you guys basketball knowledge. Why would you say Anthony Davis needs to be traded? Russell fucking Westbrook needs to be traded. Carmelo Anthony needs to be traded. The guys that they picked up. Dwight Howard.
Let me interject one fast. Carmelo
Mhm.
Anthony need to retire.
Yes. Yes. And that's why I didn't want Carmelo Anthony there in the fucking first place. Because I knew that Carmelo Anthony was going to become a problem. I knew that Carmelo Anthony was no longer the player that he was. You know why the NBA tolerated Carmelo Anthony? Because of his ball isolation stopping ways offensively. It was a pro more than the cons of him not being a defensive player, him not committing. This is when I knew Carmelo Anthony was full of crap. He was full of crap when Phil Jackson challenged him. Phil Jackson wanted to bring Kobe Bryant on the Knicks organization in to help Carmelo Anthony get over the hump and for Carmelo Anthony to want to be able to just commit on defense. Because defense is a thing you can always work on because defense requires effort.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what he told
Can't hear you.
he brought his ass out in the media to shide him. He brought his ass out in the media to disrespect him. He brought his ass out in the media to basically make Phil Jackson seem as if Phil Jackson was an idiot. Phil Jackson didn't know what he was talking about.
10 championships.
But this guy got 10 championships. No, I take it back. 11 fucking championships. But he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's trying to bring Kobe Bryant in to help you. And you're not trying to take that? You want to spit on him? You want to take the role of saying posse? Carmelo Anthony has been lazy as fuck when it came to the defensive side of the basketball. He just wanted to be that offensive player that when the game was on the line, give me the basketball. This is why Carmelo Anthony never got over the hump. But if Carmelo Anthony would have committed on the defensive end, guys, he would have been every bit the better player than LeBron James. I have no doubt in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
If Carmelo Anthony committed on the defensive end, we're talking a completely different argument between him and LeBron James. That's all Melo had to do, but Melo would not make that commitment because of the mentality. And see, that's what's wrong with that 2003, 2004 AAU era. Those guys are a waste of space in one aspect or the next. You want to give Dwayne Wade credit, but then Dwayne Wade gave up the team to LeBron James. Everything before that, Dwayne Wade was certified and legit. But after that, his career goes into question. Chris Bosh joins LeBron James. Chris Bosh would have been more respected if he would have just stayed the main cog that he was on the Toronto Raptors. Because guess what? If you guys paid attention to the climate, the Toronto Raptors eventually ended up having players come to that team years later after the whole debacle that was happening with the Miami Heat. So if he would have just stayed more patient, he would have ended up being in a forecast where he would have been all right. He would have been just fine. And if you remember, the Eastern Conference was more competitive before those guys joined because Wade was in Miami, Bosh was in Toronto, LeBron was in Cleveland. You had the Boston Celtics. You had squads. You had teams that had to go up against each other. You had the Chicago Bulls because they had Derrick Rose. You had teams, man. It wasn't like the Eastern Conference was weak. But this guy shows up and then he says, no, let's form this together. He suffocates the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference literally turns over into shit overnight. And it's easy. Of course, if your conference is easy as hell, you should be able to go to 6 straight NBA finals. If you can't do that, and a conference is that easy, where your 8th seed, this is how you know the Eastern Conference is garbage. Your 8th seed has a losing record, but they make the playoffs. If you go and look at the Western Conference, you have a losing record, you're not making the NBA playoffs as an 8th seed. Your ass got to be at least 4 to 5 games above 500 to make the NBA playoffs as an 8th seed in the Western Conference. This is what Kobe Bryant was dealing with year in and year out, man. People don't understand that when Michael Jordan's era ended and Kobe Bryant played, Kobe Bryant arguably played in the hardest conference for a litany of years. He doesn't get enough credit for that. Eastern Conference basically dumbed down and died down when Jordan left. Now, they had some moments where they resurged because I won't say that the Vince Carter, the Allen Iverson, and the Paul Pierce era, the Eastern Conference was still tough because you had those guys there.
But you could still get to the playoffs with a losing record, though.
Exactly. You still get to the playoff with a losing record. But they had 4 guys. They had T-Mac, they had AI, Paul Pierce, and fucking Vince Carter all playing on different teams. T-Mac, Orlando Magic, Vince Carter, Toronto Raptors, AI, Philadelphia 76ers, and Paul Pierce, Boston Celtics. So that gives you different looks. That brings up your conference when marquee guys are on different teams. Because when a marquee guy's on a different team, you have to build and structure that team around that marquee guy. That's how basketball works. So when people sit here and look at that, they're not asking themselves these big questions. And that's ultimately what ended up happening. So people got to be honest here and stop lying. Fundamentally, LeBron James has been everything wrong with the game of basketball. He's screwed the game sideways. And a guy like this that tells you that he is cerebral, that he can basically, through his mind, manufacture a artificial way of getting Russell Westbrook to do something fundamentally that Russell Westbrook has never done, you need to run for the fucking hills when you hear something like that. It's not reality. It's not going to work. Guys want to know why it's not reality, it's not going to work, because he is a guy who has told you that in his highest levels of basketball, he has lost more than he's won. How can you trust somebody like that?
Right.
If I went to the NBA Finals 10 times and I only won 4, I can't trust a person like that. But Anthony Davis is the worst player. Anthony Davis is the reason why LeBron James has a 4th ring. Anthony Davis is the reason why LeBron James is 40% and not 33.3. This man was living 33.3 forever. He jumped 6.7% because of Anthony fucking Davis. And we're going to sit here and say that Anthony Davis is the worst player on the team and he needs to be traded? That's Fire Marshal Bill rhetoric.
But that's
creating
what they do,
the fires, but unwilling and unable to put out the smoke.
Think about it. That's LeBron MO. He comes to the team, he uses you to get to the finals and win the finals, and then when we start looking like you finna get some credit, you like, nah, man, trade that motherfucker. He ain't get no credit over here.
Exactly.
To be told, Anthony Davis was the MVP for the Lakers last year.
Yep.
As far as real efficiency, he was the best player on the Lakers by far. Guess what ESPN did? As soon as LeBron James was no longer the top person on PER, they stopped talking about it. Now they say it's not a reliable step.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
For years, they said this is the reason why he was better than Kobe.
Yep.
He had a higher PER.
Yep.
all that means is you get more rebounds and you get more rebounds really and more assists than people. It don't
Yep.
mean you actually making the best plays. But anyway, they use that stat for years to say, okay, yeah, Kobe's winning championships, but he doesn't have a high enough. He is per higher than LeBron, so he's not better. However, fuck that makes sense. Now LeBron James can get past the 25 per. Now they're saying that stat never was reliable. Y'all fucked up my man Prime by saying LeBron James is better than him. Now that he's dead, now y'all saying that stat was never reliable. All of a sudden, they want to go by the eye test. They change the rules every time when it comes to LeBron.
It's evident, man. You already know they pushing that. They were pushing that agenda, but now LeBron's about to get old yeller. You know how it is, man. They're not going. They gotta move. They gotta find another way to move on, and it's tough. I don't know who they're gonna find. Maybe it's Luka Doncic, or they was hoping it was Zion, but Zion still is having these weight issues where he keeps blowing up. The dude can't figure out how to manage his own diet. Like, he doesn't realize he's playing a professional sport, and he can't stop eating whatever he's eating that has him blowing up to 300 pounds. So it looks like the next guy that they're going to be focusing on is Luka Doncic. LeBron, man, that dude, he looks dusty. He's going. They're gonna bring him out back soon. I'm telling you. And like we was like Heknows, we're talking about the Dr. J comments where he gave the reason why LeBron was not in his top 5. You're gonna start seeing a lot of those guys come out. I'm telling you. The rocks they were hiding under, a lot of them gonna start creeping because that's what they always do. They dissect everybody's career when they're getting ready to leave the game. They did that to Jordan, they did that to Kobe, and they're gonna do that to LeBron. And when they look at the entirety, I always say this: when they look at the entirety of LeBron's resume, man, there's just so many blemishes, man. They're gonna have to talk about the decision. They're gonna have to talk about his finals averages. They're gonna have to talk about that meltdown against Dallas. And then when they bring all that up, they're gonna have to talk about Ray Allen and Kyrie Irving saving his legacy. When they factor all that in, they're gonna come to conclusion, man. LeBron not a GOAT, dog. He's not a GOAT. There's just too many blemishes on this man's resume. We was pumping this dude up. But we wasn't realizing, man, that this dude didn't cut the mustard. He didn't cut the cheese. When we stack him up to MJ, Kobe, Tim Duncan's, Irvin Magic Johnson's, Kareem's, Bill Russell's. This man is not on those levels. And that's just the real. That's just the fact.
Facts.
You know, that's just what it is.
Facts. Now let's address RJ Guap. See, this is the thing. LeBron Tar's always got beta cuck male names. This is a guy that you could tell he sits down inside of his place and watches his woman get fucked by another guy, and he can't do nothing because the guy that's fucking his woman is telling him, and you better not try to do nothing, because if you do, I'm gonna fuck your ass up. And he's right there saying, yes, sir, you're right. And he got to watch the whole way. And he got to watch basically at the end. Here's the finale. He got to watch the dude say, I'm going to spray your woman's face right now, right? I want you to watch me spray her face. And then I'm going to want you to kiss her after I spray her fucking face. And you better do that shit before I leave. Because if you don't fucking leave, if you don't do that shit before I leave, I'm going to fuck your ass up. And then he's right there. Yes, master. Yes, I will do it. This is LeBron James fanboys. They have no backbone. Because when you sit there and say, sound like a person who never played a sport, your name is RJ Guap. Are we still talking guap? Read the comments, nerd. Tell me Kobe Bryant per in the 19th season. Well, why don't you tell me what Ross just told you when they removed Per out of the way? Because that's exactly what they did when LeBron James was no longer the main cog on Per. You can't argue against that. LeBron Tars like to go around situations.
Right.
Not only do they have stupid names, they never reveal their faces because once they reveal their face, they're gonna look like Dijon fucking mustard, shaded out. And then when they do look shaded out, you could tell they're young. They're wet behind the ears. They're wet bags. They don't know no better. See, this generation is a generation that is a participation generation. They just want to be there. They don't want to do the work. This is what LeBron James has made famous to you guys. You guys are celebrating the fact that LeBron James gets to the NBA Finals. We don't fucking celebrate that.
Right.
We celebrate you winning it.
Winning.
And then we celebrate when we're talking about pantheon of greatness, we celebrate how you win it. Because there has to be an imprint you leave on those wins. Can't just win it and there's no imprint. Otherwise, you're going to be Robert Horry. You're going to be sitting with 7 rings and you don't have no imprint. You was a role player. That's the worst comparison NBA fans do when they say, well, Robert Horry got more rings than Kobe Bryant. He was a fucking role player.
That jump because of Kobe Bryant.
Thank you. He jumped from one championship contention team to the next. From the Houston Rockets with Elijah Wan to the San Antonio Spurs with fucking Timmy D, David Robinson, and all of these guys to then jump to the Lakers. So what is impressive about what he did? This is what people don't understand. And here's the thing that RJ Guap is not telling you. Do you know that Frank Vogel is going to also eventually get fired? Because Frank Vogel is challenging Russell Westbrook of Russville. Like, what are you doing out there? They're going to fire his ass because he's actually challenging him and saying, you're not playing floor generalship basketball. You're not getting the team involved. You're just basically going out there and playing the way that you play. You cannot have an Anthony Davis on your team and you're worried about your stat sheet. The reason why you went to the Lakers, Russell Westbrook of Russville, was to potentially win a title. If that's the case, something has to sacrifice. That means your game is going to sacrifice. There is no more triple doubles. Your assists gonna be off the charts, but you gotta forget fucking rebounds because that's why you have Anthony Davis down low for. And you damn sure gotta forget points. But see, this is why Russell Westbrook has never developed and he's never evolved his basketball game because he doesn't see the bigger picture. This is why Kevin Durant said playing with Stephen Curry was way more joyful than playing with Russell Westbrook. But he also took his dig on Curry too. He said Curry likes to take shots, but at least I know that when Curry takes the shot, it's a high percentage. Basically, he took his dig right back at Russell Westbrook. But LeBron James is cerebral enough to coach him. If that's the case, why is LeBron James taking 3-point shots? And this is the first time in LeBron James' career, RJ Guap, your ass done fucking disappeared. I knew you would disappear once I gave you the Beta Cookmail story because I know it's true. There's probably a videotape in one of these porno stores of you actually having this happen. They probably got your ass in a porn where that is actually taking place. Where you've had to sit down and watch your girl screw somebody, and then the person takes your face and muff you and bring you up and say, look, you better kiss it before I leave. Because if you don't kiss it before I leave, I'm going to fuck your ass up. And he's muffing your face in the process of doing that. You have to talk to these LeBron tars this way because they are just ridiculous. They don't deserve no respect. If you root for LeBron James, you don't deserve no respect. Let alone talking basketball knowledge. So when you hear him say, well, Kobe Bryant's not in Dr. J's top 5, but at least Dr. J said Kobe Bryant's on my second team. At least. Where the fuck is LeBron James?
First of all, Dr. J down there 75 years old. Of course, Kobe not going to be in his top 5. He still got old ass players in his top 5.
But the fact that he had Kobe in one of his teams in of itself was impressive. He He had him in his second team. He didn't have LeBron James even in his second team. So that tells you, not only, like Ross said, a generational gap, but it also tells you that at least he has more respect for Kobe Bryant than he does LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
At least that means he's acknowledging his greatness. Dennis Rodman said it best. I want you, Ross, and I want you, Richyrich, to go look at Dennis Rodman's comment. But Dennis Rodman basically said to LeBron James what Floyd Mayweather said to Triple G. He told LeBron James has no special effects. He's just straight up and down. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
And he said if he played in the 90s, we would dominate him. He wouldn't be doing what you guys see that he's doing because it's a physical basketball game. Just try to picture in your mind LeBron James going to the basket against that Detroit Piston Bad Boys team. LeBron would be crying. He would not be able to hang. They would literally beat him up psychologically. They would beat him up mentally, especially with all his size. Rick Mahorn would make sure that he throw everything, probably throw a knee, just try to slow this guy down with all that extra size. Freaking
he would quit. LeBron James would quit.
Yeah, LeBron James would quit.
Yeah. He'd be quitting.
I mean, they would throw everything at his ass. They would make sure that LeBron James, Dennis Rodman would probably throw a knee to LeBron James' chest or elbow to his chest. Because now we're dealing with a guy with more size. We're going to be even extra more physical with him. We're going to beat him up even more. Joe Dumars would probably kick LeBron James in the shin. I'm telling you, man. Mm-hmm. They would beat this guy up so bad and send him packing that he would be like, what the hell am I? This is what Jordan had to play with. Jordan had to play. If you go look at when Jordan drive to the basket, you had Rick Mahorn take his hands, and muff Michael Jordan's bald head down while he's going into the basket. They're like, hell no, you ain't scored on us. This is the adversity that Jordan had to face. You think LeBron James, with his weak, fragile mind, the way that he's already so weak in this genre, think about it. He went 6 games against the Miami Heat team, and the Miami Heat team was depleted. There was no Bam Adebayo because Bam Adebayo played here and there. Jimmy Butler was the only cog there that was really doing heavyweight lifting. And they sat there and went 6 games with that team. That was supposed to be a sweep. So don't tell me, especially a bubble title, don't tell me that LeBron James is legit. A fucking bubble title. Who wins? Man, when this guy's career is over with, all of these old heads, that's why you see it starting with Dr. J. You're going to start seeing more old heads come out, and they're going to start talking about that. They're probably going to bring up that bubble title too. They're going to say, you know, in my day, we never had a stoppage where teams stop and then all of a sudden they restart, but yet the only team that's practicing is the Lakers to build themselves back up. In my days, that never happened. They're going to bring these things up because they already dish rag Stephen Curry. You heard what Gary Payton told him. You heard what Joe Dumars said to Stephen Curry. That's why I laughed. Man, if he was playing in my era, we'd lock his ass up, though. He would be sitting there shooting that shot like that. Man, I put the glove on him, though. I put the clamper on him. I put the lockers on him because we get to guard you 94 feet. For us, you know how disrespectful from a defensive. That's what Gary Payton said. You know how disrespectful from a defensive standpoint. You sitting there and letting the guy just chuck up shots. Nah, we don't play defense like that. I'd get on him. Gary Payton would have Stephen Curry make the whole Matthew Dellavedova situation look like that was patty cake. That's how much defense he would play on him. These basketball players in this era are heavily overrated and heavily inflated. Don't ever compare them to true basketball connoisseurs. Now I want to segue into Zion Williamson, man, because this guy right here is pissing me off. Zion Williamson blew the fuck up to 315 pounds. That's what they said it was. They say it was north of 300. I found out the number. And I'm mad. How the hell are you as big as Shaq and you 6'6"? What the? I mean, come on, man. Because you have all the skill set to be a transformational basketball player. This is not like he's a scrub, right? This is not like he's a dud. Yes. This is a guy that bowled over Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we know how big and brolic Giannis Antetokounmpo is. He made him look like a kid out there on the basketball court. And then you're going to sit here and you're going to eat your damn Popeyes. Listen, they need to take his ass away from New Orleans. Because Zion Williamson, me and Ross talk about this. Me and Richyrich have talked about this too. There's just some people, you can't keep them near a fast food restaurant worth saving your life.
No good food.
I'm telling you this right now. Zion Williamson has an apartment that's right outside from Popeye. I can already see that right now. And if you know why I keep mentioning Popeyes? Because if anybody knows anything about New Orleans, you know the capital of Popeyes is in motherfucking New Orleans. They need to get his ass off the Pelicans. And if there's any food that makes you gain weight more than anything, it is Popeyes.
Mm-hmm.
His ass needs to get off that team. He needs to get away from that party place because that area there is not good and conducive for him. But at the same time, when you're a transformational basketball player, it shouldn't matter where you are. What should matter is the fact that you're transforming yourself and disciplining yourself so that you can be that generational talent. The thing that's pissing me off with Zion Williamson is a generational talent. That's what's pissing me off. You look at his phonetics, you look at his ability. This guy has a Larry Johnson, size frame. If you guys remember Anthony Mason was that big, strong, brolic dude that could handle the rock. He kind of has that kind of frame, but he's way more athletic than those guys. This guy's even more athletic than LeBron. And when I say way more, I'm talking about leagues and shoulders. Michael Jordan came in with a 48-inch vertical leap. There's no vertical leap. That's why I laugh when they say LeBron James is the most physical specimen. There's nobody that's come into the league that's past Michael Jordan vertical leap wise, 48-inch. Do you know that Zion Williamson's vertical inch is 45 inches?
Yeah. So imagine if he was small as hell.
Exactly.
He did that. He was 250 pounds when he did that shit.
Yep.
So if he 220, Jordan did that shit. We like 198 pounds, 220 pounds.
Yep.
Ain't no telling how high this motherfucker really jumped.
Exactly.
This motherfucker is big as hell and be doing that shit.
Exactly.
He's probably the most athletic person who ever played basketball.
Exactly. I'm glad you saw that because I was trying to bring that point. This guy with his size, he's doing this at 280. I mean, gosh. Right, could you imagine a 6'6"? He's 6'6", 280 frame, and you jumping 45 inches vertically. That is insane. That's unheard of. So when we look at the John Morants, we look at the RJ Barretts, these guys were not guys that have the generational talent that a Zion Williamson has. But you know what those guys have? They have true grit. They have hard work. That's why John Morant, you keep hearing his name more and more. He keeps building himself up. This guy's thrashing teams, dominating teams in clutch moments. You're hearing RJ Barrett's name more and more. You don't want to know what it is? What they don't have from a physical gift standpoint that Zion Williamson has, they make it up in hard work and dedication. And that's why these guys' name keep getting bigger and bigger, and they're thriving more and more. But these guys shouldn't even be able to compete with Zion if Zion's on his shit. Zion Williamson was so good that he was having Luka Doncic fanboys hate him. Because everybody was looking at Luka as the next thing, and then Zion was just peaking. All last year, peaking. And then what ends up happening? He goes and takes a sabbatical, and he gains 40 fucking pounds. So I'm calling him his whole basketball career to question. Do you take your craft seriously? Do you really even care about playing basketball? Or at this point, it's just a check to you, man? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if Zion Williamson don't get his act together, we're talking about the biggest bust the NBA's ever seen. What's your take on it, Richyrich?
Yeah, man, it truly is disappointing to see Zion, man, because you can already see it. They were attempting on making this dude the next best thing, and every year, every season so far, this guy's been injured, man, and it's crazy. He had that foot injury, and yet, during this offseason, that they reported at the last minute, and seeing as he couldn't work out, he allowed his body to balloon up to 300 plus pounds, and that was a case going into last season where he came into training camp out of shape, and
yep.
And it's like you hear a lot about these young players, especially from that AAU era. These guys, they don't take care of their bodies. I remember when Dwayne Wade was coming into the league, and he made a comment about not eating the right stuff, eating crap, man. That's the truth. That boy is eating that Thanksgiving food 7 days a week, man. I don't know how you balloon up to that weight that fast. That is insane, man. At his frame, 6'6", at his frame, and let alone that.
Yep.
Zion, man, the people that surround him, the yes men around him, man, what one of these dudes gonna say no? When they gonna tell this cat, no, you can't do this. You gotta take the game serious. Because that's a part of it too. Cats that are around him, he got yes men. He got enablers. He got these cats, they gotta stand their ground. They gotta be like, Zion, man, you are a meal ticket, dog. You can't be doing this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta take care of yourself, man. You one of the up and coming cats in the league, the up and coming dudes in the league. You gotta take this thing serious, man. Year in and year out. You could become a household name. You could be one of the NBA greats if you play your cards right. If you take this thing serious, you take your craft serious, you train your body, because you're the type of person, man. If you're not managing your weight can get out of whack.
Exactly.
Fast.
Exactly.
And he's special, man, in his own regard. Like when we look at Jordan, it's about the hang time.
Yep.
Derrick Rose, it was how he was able to contort his body, have that speed and contort his body at the same time. Yep. Zion Williamson, it's his leap. How he's able to jump so fast when he touches the ground, he's able to jump so fast and out jump everybody. That's at that size. I'm like, man, this dude is sick. Yep. How he's able to, with all that weight that he's toting, when I don't know if you ever pay attention. He jumps, he lands on the ground, and then he can immediately out jump everybody so fast.
And then he has a takeoff. As soon as he lands, he has a takeoff that's so fast that he's already on the other side of the lane, dunking.
Yeah, that's insane, man. I'm like, this dude that's an insane ability. That's an otherworldly ability. Yep. You got all these players throughout NBA history that's had these insane otherworldly abilities. That's Zion's ability, man. The ability to just outleap people so fast. And it's disappointing to see this dude, have these issues, man, with these injuries, these weight issues. And if he keeps playing around, man, he's gonna find himself having a very short career, man, because he's the type of dude that's always gonna have these lower extremity injuries, knee injuries, foot injuries, playing at that size every year.
He's too fat.
He's too fat. It's gonna shorten his NBA career. And he's gonna end up being another Grant Hill or Anthony Hardaway. But those cats, they took their craft serious. But,
and he's playing the wrong sport. He should play football. If you're gonna be that size, he should be an offensive lineman.
You be a tight end.
Yep. Tight end.
What?
But that's my take on it. Tom Ross could have a swing at it.
Yeah. So, he won't be the greatest bust of all time because by default, it's Sam Bowie. They picked this motherfucker over Jordan. He ended up being trash. but he will be one of the greatest, biggest busts of all time. And you want to know why? It's a combination of a lot of things, but it shows you the type of parents and the type of society we live in. This society is the most obese society I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen so many young people that's fat as fuck in my life. When I was little, you got fat shamed. Ain't no such thing as you just walking around being fat, man.
No, they tell you that.
Your friend will be like, yo, why you so fat?
Exactly.
You have to explain yourself. Like, man, my mom always feeding us and shit. I don't know why she keep feeding us.
Yep.
Like, bro, don't eat that shit. She making you fat. You tell your friends, your mom making you fat, man. You fat, man. You know what I'm saying? This generation, everybody's so soft. If you say somebody's fat, they'll send you to the principal office and expel you.
Yep.
They'll be like, you can't talk to people like that. You got a fat phobia. You need counseling. But really, just being honest, you like, bro, you bumped into me, you made me fall down the stairs. You fat. You need to lose weight. You fat motherfucker. That's the truth. Cause no fourth grader should be accidentally bumping nobody downstairs, man.
Yep.
But you could tell that basketball saved him. You could tell he was always the fat kid that was fat as shit. then he just grew tall and got athletic. You could tell.
Yeah, that's true.
He always had that fatness about him. He's just a freak of nature. He fat as fuck, but he could ball. This dude is ridiculous, bro. And my thing is more so not even basketball. Damn, basketball is he's too big. He's too young to be that big.
Yep.
No one should be that big, but nobody his age should be that big.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. If you're that big now, how big you gonna get when you're in your 40s?
Good point.
So when you're in your 40s, your testosterone drop. A lot of that muscle, your testosterone keep the muscle mass on you. So a lot of that muscle gonna start turning to fat. How big can he get?
Exactly.
If you're a professional athlete and you 3+ right now at 6'6", that's obese, man.
Yep.
You're supposed to be that big at that height.
Yep.
You're a professional athlete, bro. And then you're in the wrong sport. Someone said he needs to go to the Heat. That might be the best place for him because Pat Riley's not gonna let him be 300.
No. Pat Riley's gonna get him in shape, man. Pat Riley's gonna have a nutritionist, and Pat Riley's gonna make sure that he checks in with him every day.
I guarantee you, Pat Riley is the type of motherfucker that still call people fat.
Yep.
So I guarantee you probably call Shaq like, man, you're fat as shit. I see why the Lakers lost.
Yep.
You was the problem.
Yep.
Get on this scale. Yeah, way too fat, man. And tell you what, run 30 laps around the go run 30 laps right now. Come back.
Exactly. And then you saw Shaq drop to 325, and then the Miami Heat for those years were doing their fucking thing.
He was the reason why the Lakers lost, but he got bodied by a little dude that's like 235, 240.
Yep.
And they try to blame that shit on Kobe. But anyway, back to this shit right here. We, at our generation, we had to turn back to the old men that our grandfathers used to be.
Yep.
That used to just be like, hey, man, you need to lose weight. Straight up. Like, as soon as you come in the door, looking fat as shit.
Yep.
Like, hey, man, you should lose weight.
Yep.
Yeah, go outside. I'm tired. Tired? You're only 12. And so you can't be tired. When I was 12 years old, I had 3 jobs and I was driving.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Your grandfather made it seem like you couldn't do nothing but perform.
Yep.
And you couldn't be tired. You cannot be fat.
Nope.
You couldn't complain about nothing. Tired? What? That's a long way to walk. I had to walk 10 miles to school every day, back and forth.
Exactly.
You fat motherfucker, get outside right now. we gotta become those old men because this generation has been too effeminized.
Exactly.
Women dictate to these little boys what they should be, and the men we just fuck to sit back. As long as they get some pussy and eat some food, they let the women make all the decisions.
Exactly.
Look at the type of men they're creating.
Yep.
They're creating LeBrons.
Yep.
Zions.
Yep.
Russell Westbrooks.
Yep.
Russell Westbrook act like a straight woman when he don't get his way.
They create Stephen Curry's.
Niggas just better cut meals. And that's Stephen Curry's father's fault. He was there the whole time, and he just let his woman dominate him.
Exactly.
Like, bro,
That's even worse. That's even worse when you have the active father in the home, and then the active father is
so
not
weak.
ingratiating the dominance.
He's so weak that you
Yep.
being like him made you a better cook meal. It's sad, man. And
Yeah,
that's
his
the
wife,
problem.
his wife saying, I don't feel sexy, so I want to get the attention of other men so I can feel satisfied, so I can feel like people can see me for who I am. Well, what the fuck are you? You Stephen Curry's wife. The fuck you need attention for?
Right.
Sit
Who
your
are
ass down.
you? You have done nothing in your life besides marry Stephen Curry.
There you go.
Why you need to be seen? Go do something besides try to show your ass.
There you go.
But yeah, understand, if your wife is taking advice from Jada Pinkett Smith,
Yeah.
you are officially a cuck male.
Mel
Because she
and
supposed to
Beta
look at
right in front of it.
Jada Pinkett and be like, "Phew."
Yep.
Like you're a slut too.
Yep.
I'll never listen to you. If
Yep.
your wife sitting here watching Red Diary, Red Table Talk, and coming to you talking about, yeah, this what Jada Pinkett would say, we need to work on this, you need to start thinking about a new broad, man.
That's it.
Because first of all, why you watching that shit? You know I don't fuck
Yeah.
with that. Second of all, why you watching it and telling me about it?
You remember
Now you
T.I.
being
had that
disrespectful.
you remember T.I. had that rap reference? He said, ladies love me like Tupac soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that line?
No, T.I. ain't say that. Jay-Z said that.
Was it Jay?
Yeah. Ladies love me like Tupac soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And give it to me. In the song, give it to me.
oh, give it to me. Okay. So when Jay said that, if you're taking that and you're putting that into context with Jada Pinkett, Jada Pinkett's chasing a dead man's soul.
Right.
She's more enamored with the dead man's soul
To her own husband.
than her own husband.
That's that imprint. That's that imprint. Some women, everybody think every woman supposed to be married. No, they fuck they not. It's a reason why there's 7 women to every man. Some women supposed to be the eyeball out, or they supposed to have to share a man. Every woman should not have no man to themselves, man. And this is a prime example. Will Smith, with everything that he has done in his life, he deserved better than this, man.
Yep.
He deserved way better than this. This is trash. This is basura. This is trash, bro.
Every day Will Smith stays in there, the worse he's making it for himself. He needs to just get the fuck out.
You need to get out of there, man.
And because at best, Jada Pinkett at best is a C+ actress, man. At best.
Right. And she never was better than that. And she used to be bad when she was younger, but now she done got bigger.
Yep.
She done got older, and like you can tell she got those mixed genes. Those mixed genes fuck you up as you get older because you start having the white people genes. Her face started to get swollen. Her face started to get swollen, like she been getting punched in her face.
Nah, she got a few surgeries, man.
Right.
Yeah.
She don't look good. She don't look good no more. So Will Smith would do way better than that. And that would be the best revenge for her disrespecting him. Every month, on the 3rd of the month, she go on her show and she say some foul shit about her husband. Every month, man.
Yep.
And people might be like, yo, y'all ain't talking about basketball no more. We still are. This is the dynamic that made Zion. The dynamic to where it's a feminine vibration, yo. Nobody's holding nobody accountable. It's total chaos.
Yep.
This young man probably been fat as fuck his whole life, man. And people just like, don't talk about him. He likes snacks. Just let him like his snacks. And if he had a real men in his life, like an old grandfather, they'll take them fucking snacks from him and tell him, shut the fuck up and go to sleep.
Exactly.
Go to bed. You're not eating no more, man. Go to sleep. Matter of fact, do some push-ups right now.
Exactly. Now you're gonna run off what you just ate right now. How about that?
Go outside and do some mountain climbers right now.
Yep.
I'm tired of your stomach being on your lap. You only 8 You're only 8 years old. Why your stomach on your lap?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You feel like a grandfather. You don't even have kids yet. It don't make no sense.
Exactly.
This generation, man, it's like when you look at this shit, you gotta look at Zion Williamson. you gotta remember where even though he's a grown man in NBA, you gotta remember where he's coming from, bro. And his little not clique, but his generation of kids, they all fat as fuck. They all still on the video game all day.
Mm-hmm.
They all sit on the video game all day. They all fat as fuck.
Yep.
Whenever they play team sports, it's always a drama thing because they don't get their way. They come home crying. You got to force them to go to practice because they don't have no drive.
And then the parents have to have a mental health conference talk.
All the time.
We're affecting our kids' mental health. What the fuck?
Just by telling them they need to lose weight, man.
Yep.
Now, if you're a parent who are hard on your kids' weight and their health, they can say you child abusing your kid, man.
No.
If your son get a wild help his ass to go to school and be like, my father told me I need to lose weight and they hurt my feelings, you might fuck around and get in trouble. I'll beat the shit out of that little motherfucker if he snitch on me. I'm like, since you want to tell this.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You handle them.
Right.
That's
I'll
it.
be something to tell about since you want to tell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the problem. That's why you have these guys. Fat as hell. No discipline. He getting paid millions of dollars. There's no reason for this.
Yep.
He could pay someone to make his meals for the rest of his life.
Yep.
And all you gotta do is eat those meals, even if he don't want to work out. Because you can tell he's physically, he's a freaking nature. You can tell he's all muscle under the layers of fat.
Man, that is true. That is true, T20. Parents don't parent anymore. They rely on the teachers. They do, boy. They rely the hell on them damn teachers. And then they get the teachers, they try to get the teachers fired when the teacher don't parent the kids that they're supposed to do. I mean, get the fuck out of here with that. That's
what they're supposed to do. And then they get mad when the Board of Education see that you don't want to parent no more, that the Board of Education start teaching your kids from gauge and shit. Like, you know, your daughter come home from school and she talking about, I'm a boy now. And you're like, when this happened?
Yep.
Yeah, today the teacher said, I don't got to be a girl if I don't want to.
Exactly.
Now you mad at the teacher and shit, but you gave the teacher too much power.
Exactly.
Kids supposed to go to school, do their assignments, and bring their ass home, man.
And here's the one that I like.
You taking life advice for their teacher.
Here's the one that I like. Here's the one that I like too. When they come to pick up the kids from school, and the teacher is saying, that kid's not going home with you no more. Child services is coming to get them.
Right.
Because your ass basically wasn't around. You were non-existent. You weren't a presence. So the teacher becomes the presence, and kids will open up to whoever's around them more than anybody else. That's just the way they roll. If they have more trust and they develop more trust in you, they're going to open up to you. And if it's the teacher that they're doing that to, guess what? They're going to tell the teacher day-to-day affairs that's happening at home.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, you're wondering why not only you're getting a school, the school reaching out to you to come meet with them, your ass is also going to the police station. Right after. So it's like a combination. It's like a hand in hand. And if they don't take your ass to the police station, they make sure they have those cops right there in the school. So just in case you buck up, your ass getting a charge.
You can get beat down.
And you get beat down.
You try to buck up, you get beat down.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man. That's the gist of it, man. That's the gist of it. Zion, even though as a man, you got to overcome the society you're born into. You got to overcome. Sometimes you got to overcome your own family.
Yep.
Because you might have a family where everybody's fat and they think that's the way to live.
Yep.
I seen families to where if a female come in that's fit, they call her skinny and she unattractive.
Exactly.
It's how I shame her because she take care of her body.
Exactly.
Like, yo, just because y'all fat as fuck and one donut away from diabetes, I'm skinny. So sometimes you got to overcome your own family.
Yep.
They have bad habits.
Yep.
I won't be surprised
really bad
everybody in Zion Williams' family is fat as fuck.
I'm sure of it. His mom is huge. And they probably drinking that diabetes iced tea, filling that shit up with sugar like nobody's business.
Nobody's business, man.
Yep. Filling the lemonade with sugar like nobody's business.
This one, you know, the baby gonna be fat, baby gonna have bad practices. The mothers who be making the baby bottles with the soda.
Yep. They, you know, the kid's gonna be fat.
You supposed to give the baby the motherfucking Coca-Cola. Talk about he like this. You fry his brain.
You know why they do that, right?
Adults ain't supposed to be drinking no
Because it's
Coca-Cola.
cheap.
Yeah.
Because it's cheap. They don't have to go and get the actual bottle.
Yeah.
They were taught that. And the thing is, they were taught that down generational lines. That's the fucked up part about it. Oh, yeah, you go get the Coca-Cola bottle because, you get that, you put it in the Coca-Cola, you won't have to worry about buying bottles. And now the baby's drinking soda. If you guys ever look behind a soda can to see how much grams of sugar, you know how many grams of sugar? That shit will say 56 grams or higher. I've seen soda cans that say 70 grams. You drink the whole can, that's your daily sugar intake is not. Your daily sugar intake is not supposed to be more than 24 grams.
What?
You've already hit that 3 times over. Now imagine if you have 6 sodas a day. I've seen people drink 6 sodas a day. They wonder why they get diabetes.
Think about it, man. Think about it. They be saying shit like, "Oh, we didn't make him diabetic. He was born that way." No,
yeah.
man.
Okay.
You want to know if that baby came out diabetic? You know what that means? That means your health was bad.
Exactly.
And you gave that shit to your baby because you was fat as fuck.
Exactly.
That's a whole generational curse, man.
So that's even worse to say that. You might as well just say he was just eating bad.
You might as well just shut the fuck up and be like, you know what? Yeah, I raised him wrong, man. Like, bro, there's no excuse.
Yep.
Your 9-year-old son should not be 220 pounds.
Exactly. Exactly.
That nigga better be 6 feet tall.
Yep. Yep.
He should not be. What? How old are you? How tall are you when you're 9? Like 4 feet?
Yeah.
Something like that. You like 4'3" or something when you're 9 years old?
Yep.
You
Something
should not
like
be
that.
200.
And you got a lot of these kids, man. You got a lot of these kids. It trips me out because I see them. A lot of them walk around here. They got fucking titties like nobody's business, man. Yep. And these are guys. And I wasn't, growing up, me myself, I wasn't a skinny kid. Growing up like that, I had a lot of skinny moments, but I also had moments where I put on weight. And when I put on weight, Richard called me out on that shit. My dad will call me out on that shit. Hey man, you getting too fucking fat, dog. What the fuck wrong with you, man? You putting on too much weight.
Don't give a fuck. You start crying or not.
Yeah, they'll tell you straight up. Hey man, my dad will always tell me, hey, you got all this. He would say it in Haitian Creole, but I'm a translator in English. He always used to tell me, a man's not supposed to have all this grease on his body. Yeah, he's like, why you got all this? Why you got all these fat greases on your body, man?
Right.
But it was kind of belligerent, disrespectful, though. It was to get your attention, to get you to be like, hey, you need to tighten up.
Yeah.
You can't be having all this fat on your body. You're a male.
Right. What are you gonna do with all this?
Exactly.
You have no need to have all this, man. Yep. In Alaska, you need to stay warm. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Take that shit off. Don't go to the gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what my dad did, man? Richard tell you that shit, though. When I saw him, who was it? It was back. I saw y'all back in 2018. Yeah, mm-hmm. when I saw him in May of 2018. My dad, that's how I said, my dad is funny as hell, man. This dude started taking his hand and touching my stomach, touching my chest, and just touching those areas.
See if you fat.
And he was like, okay, you good. Right. You good. Right. That's how he is, man. That's why I've always had that standard of knowing that.
Right.
And that's kind of stayed in the back of my mind too. Okay, shit. That's why it helps me to always stay on point. Because I know that's going to come. Every time I get around them, I know that's going to happen. That's going to be a standard.
Mm-hmm.
But I had that growing up. Right. A lot of people don't have that growing up, man. They got people telling them you it's okay to be fat. I'm fat too. Now you got parents telling them I'm fat too, so it's okay to be fat. Why are you fucking kidding me?
You know what that is? That's misery level company.
Yep.
You miserable as fuck. You know the shit you wanted in your life you didn't get. A lot of it because you was fat and shit, and now you want me to not get it too.
Yep.
You want my life to be horrible like yours.
Yep.
Bro, when I was little, we had no choice, man. You know how the weekend, these kids, this generation, they sleep in. I was woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had two choices. I could either follow my father around and look for shit to fix in the house, or I had to go outside at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
Yep.
There wasn't no just sitting around, laying up, sleeping shit. I was outside shooting baskets in the dark.
Exactly.
That's about jumping against fire.
Yep.
They be like, yo, how you shoot so good? Little they know, I had been there 2 hours already shooting the ball by myself.
Yep. Man, it's interesting you said that because Richyrich will tell you the story. But I was playing against this dude, his name Ellie. You know what I'm saying? This guy, we play basketball. I hate one thing about me with basketball, I hate losing, boy. I can't stand losing no damn basketball game, boy. But this dude, we was playing one-on-one. He beat me that first time. I was so boiled up. I was so angered after he beat me the first time. From that first loss, I was already learning his style of play, what he likes to do, why he beat me, how he was able to. And I was like, oh, you know, he was beating me to this spot. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like he likes to, this is his comfort zone. He likes to take this shot. The second game, man, I gave this dude hell, boy. Because I already had all of his tactics from the first game. I already had it in place. I was just a step slow. So the second game, I gave that dude straight hell. At the end of that game, when I won that one, he was like, man, I'm going to call you the Goku of basketball. I said, why are you calling me Goku? Because he said, like, Goku, man, your power level, it seemed like it just keeps sprouting up every time. It's like you getting better and better. Because it went from, he beat me the first game, real close. Then I beat him the second game real close. And then the third game, I blew his ass out. Because I was figuring him out. Why am I saying this? And how is it correlating to everything that Ross is talking about? In our generation, it was all about pushing yourself. And it was always about trying to improve yourself. And it was always about having standards. The way you look, the way you play the game of basketball, the way you move, the way you act, the way you are around women, the way you are, period. Zion Williamson, you could tell his ass is in New Orleans getting done the hell up. And that's why his ass is over 300 some pounds. Because what we also got to remember with New Orleans is a party town. And if you're not disciplined and you hanging on Bourbon Street, you're going to be drinking all the damn bourbon in the world. That's what he's doing. He's eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. He's eating Popeye's chicken. And he's drinking bourbon all freaking day. And you know why they tell him that's okay? Because they tell him he has money. I'm sure his parents are right there. Because you know who's having the friction between Zion Williamson and the NBA? It's Zion Williamson, his family, and the NBA. So clearly his family's in on being a culprit. Because usually your family member would tell you, or your family members would tell you, hey, man, you need to chill out. You messing up the bottom line right now.
Usually for a meal ticket, they'll tell you everything you want to hear. And then once you get broke, then they won't answer your phone.
Exactly. Exactly. Unless they're ones that are accountable. That's why I like Michael Jordan's story, because you used to see Michael Jordan's father and mother both hold him accountable. They were always holding him accountable. Whether if it was his father or his mother was tough. She always, every time he needed advice, even for the Hall of Fame speech, he wouldn't go talk to his mom, and his mom gave him a piece of advice. You know what she told Jordan? Jordan asked her, for the speech, I had something written up, but I also feel like I just need to speak off of, what I'm feeling in the moment. And his mom said, listen, we never raised you to be a kid. We never raised you to be a man to have to say things in a scripted way. We raised you to be a man to speak your own mind and to think freely. So whatever comes to you in that moment, say it. And then Jordan ended up having the most boldest Hall of Fame speech ever. Boy, that boy was bold, boy. He let everybody have it.
You
And
know what I'm
that
saying?
from
All the
that
shit
Hall
he
of
didn't
Fame
want to
speech,
say.
from that Hall of Fame speech, they hated Jordan. They hated him because Jordan showed a unadulterated, truthful side of him that it basically unnerved a lot of Caucasians that looked up to him. It pissed him off.
Right.
I mean, it pissed him off the way that he was talking. He's like, "You remember that, John? You remember that, John?" Talking to John like he's a little boy. You remember that, John, when you said Brian Russell. I mean, the way he was like dish ragging all of these people in the speech.
Right. He said
Treating them like they not
say.
on his level, dog. You got to understand why that was a proud moment for me. It was a proud moment for me because to see a black man say, you know what, I don't give a fuck about you guys. I'm just gonna be unapologetic, and I'm gonna try to foot on you guys, and you're just gonna have to accept it. I've earned this moment. You know, you guys told me that I am Mr. Hall of Fame, so I'm gonna let you know why I'm Mr. Hall of Fame. And to see his memory was so great that he remembered every moment. And he basically, I mean, the way that he scolded everybody, even from David Thompson. David Thompson comes up, hands him, you know what I'm saying, is the one that walked him into the Hall of Fame speech. The second he does that, Jordan's already on his ass about high school. He's on everybody's ass. He said, you remember that, David? You remember? They picked you over me. And that boiled me up. That boiled me up. And I made sure they remember the rest of their natural high school born career that they should have never picked you over me. He let everybody have it. He didn't care.
Sad thing is,
Jeff
at
Van
that
Gundy.
time, they probably was right. And he still didn't care.
Exactly. Jeff Van Gundy. Well, Michael Jordan is a comment. And what Jeff Van Gundy said wasn't wrong.
He was telling the truth.
He was telling the truth.
He got
but
mad
Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan is the way he got at him, dog. He said, man, that pissed me off. Because I'm sitting here talking to my friend Patrick Ewing. We sitting here, we having steaks, we having dinner. And then the next day, he's acting like he doesn't freaking know me. And then he's in the press, telling the press, well, Michael Jordan is a con man. He'll be right there, you know, having dinner with you. And then, you know, when it comes to basketball game, he's right there assassinating you, dominating you and stuff like that. He befriends you so you can feel good. Then once you feel good, the next day, he's dogging you out. It made me laugh because I know that was true about Jordan. But it was the messenger that said it. It was the wrong messenger. It should have been a different person saying it, not Jeff Van Gundy. So Jeff Van Gundy had to get hell for it. He paid hell for it. Yeah. And then this was the one that tripped me out. Because even Tim Duncan, a lot of people that looked at Jordan like my hero, and you know, a lot of people's minds of what they have as heroes, they have a person that's a hero is like they're a saint.
That's perfect.
They can't do no wrong. They're perfect.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan his mouth was, if you look at Tim Duncan's mouth and how it just dropped, and then the nerve of Jordan to say that, man, y'all look up, you know, and, you know, I'll be 50 years old. And you never know. I might come right back to the NBA, lace them up, put the shoes back on, and come back and dominate the game of basketball.
Right.
And everybody was looking at him like, what? But it was his story. He had to tell his story. And you guys couldn't take that moment away from him because guess what? He already had his NBA career. He already went through the ringer. And to be honest with you, there was a lot of things that burned him up in those moments that he never got a chance to hash out. And that Hall of Fame speech gave him the open light to do that. Jerry Krause, when Tex Winter, I remember a pocket moment. Tex Winter said, Jordan, there's no I in team. And Jordan said, but there's I in win.
Right. Right. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh shit!
They trying to hit Kobe with the same shit.
I can see Kobe Bryant saying that, man.
They told him there was no I in team, and he said there's a me in that motherfucker.
Yep.
There's a me in that motherfucker.
There's I and win. It's the way he said it. And I know that made a lot of people drop because a lot of people, because their brains are peon, they prescribed it as Jordan's just being the ultimate selfish basketball player. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is he's the most important reason of why the team won. That's exactly why he's saying I and win. But that went over a lot of people's heads. And the other one too that got me was the story the story when Jordan was talking about Clyde Drexler, man. Jordan dish rag his own too. And he said at that time they was trying to say Clyde Drexler was just as good as you. Jordan don't like that. That's what people don't understand. Jordan don't like people, especially people he don't feel that's on his level, to even be in the same breath.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Clyde Drexler's a great basketball player. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But on the level with me, oh, I took that as fuel to the damn fire.
Right.
It came to 92 NBA playoff. No, the 92 NBA finals. I hope y'all that burned in y'all minds and y'all forever remembered why there's a difference between me and Clyde Drexler. That dude, man, that dude had me. Sometimes when I want to go into my egotistical mode, that boasty mode, I'll play that damn Hall of Fame speech, man, and watch it from the beginning to the end. When I want to just get a resurgence, I will do that. I'm telling you right now, that speech will get you going. Sometimes when I get in battle mode, I watch that Hall of Fame speech because it gets you ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because that whole Hall of Fame speech, he's talking about log on the fire, log on the fire. He said, and this is the one that he got me when the John Stockton with Brian Russell. He said, when Brian Russell said, "Hey man, why'd you get out the NBA? Why'd you get out the NBA? You know I could shut you down. I will guard you. I will shut you down." And then Michael Jordan said, when he got the basketball and he came to the top of the key, this shit is happening in the top of the key with Brian Russell. We don't even know they having this conversation. Thank you, Michael Jordan, for telling us it. We just see them playing. And Michael Jordan's telling him at the top of the key, you remember? You, you. He called him a you. He didn't call him Brian. He said, hey, you. You remember when you came to my baseball facility and you said I could shut you down and I could lock you up? Well, guess what? You about to have your chance. Oh shoot, man! Listening to that, man.
Then he hit a dagger in his face.
Oh shit!
Game one.
Yep. He said, "You about to have your chance." And then Jordan said, even John Stockton and them was laughing. And Jordan said, every chance I had after that, I made sure I took it to him. That had me rolling, man, because that's what I was trying to tell. Me and Ross had that conversation, but that's what I'm trying to tell people. Jordan was not PC. Jordan just played along.
Well, he was.
So that he played along so that he could get to a certain level. It's that, remember that term we was using? And you had corrected me when I said fake it till you make it, but what did you say as a substitution to that one? It wasn't fake it till you make it. It was a correction you made to that.
I forgot.
You remember?
I know.
Okay. That's what Jordan was doing so that he could get to the status of where he's in his life now. So that now, if you notice, Jordan's not PC now. Nothing about what he says is PC now. Nothing. Because he wanted to use those moments to get where he needed to get. And once he got where he needed to get, where they can't take it away from him, he could just talk shit. And that's why you saw once he started doing that, that's when you started seeing, they started saying, oh, Jordan's not the GOAT no more.
Right.
That was the beginning.
2 weeks later, they said we need to revisit the GOAT.
That was the beginning.
Hey, that's how you know that GOAT shit. It's fleeting. The media naming people to go and all that shit means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
your list of who you say to go means more than what the media say. Because they can change that shit out of whim.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even consider Kobe, so you already know it don't mean nothing.
Yep.
They don't consider Kobe. They don't consider Kareem. They was
Yep.
considering Jordan as a bona fide goat after he told them how you really feel. Now
Exactly.
they questioning him. So you know it don't really mean anything.
Nope.
It's all about if we can control you, we'll give you all the accolades. But as soon as we feel like we can't or you dupe us,
Yeah.
now we got an issue. The
Yep.
NBA had a big issue with Kawhi Leonard when he didn't go to the Lakers.
Yep.
The media was mad. They said Kawhi
Yeah.
Leonard will never be a top 5 player. They were
Exactly.
pissed. Because
Exactly.
he ain't gonna help LeBron James.
He ain't gonna help LeBron. But what they had to understand is he was gonna go to the Lakers. He was gonna go to his hometown.
LeBron
But
didn't
he
buy
was
it
gonna
out.
go with LeBron. LeBron would have to be Scottie Pippen. That's it. And
So I
LeBron
know
wasn't
niggas-
having that.
why
LeBron
people-
wasn't having that.
People always want to fight against their role. LeBron James would be 10 for 10 in the finals if he was a Scottie Pippen and not trying to be the Jordan.
Exactly.
He needed a Jordan. He had
Yep.
one, a little mini one, and Wade, but he
Yep.
made sure Wade didn't get no more. He basically took all Wade's clout.
Yep.
And you know you can't be the Jordan of a team and you don't get the clout for it.
Yep.
He want to get all the clout, everything.
Yep.
And while he don't have to do nothing in the fourth quarter and let D Wade, like, no, man.
Yep.
I will never forgive D Wade for him letting LeBron James come over there and do that. I lost all respect for him, man. All respect. So everything that's going on in his life now,
Richyrich is shaking his head though. Damn!
Everything-
Finally, a second person to say what I've been saying so many years ago. You should have seen Richyrich at the moment. That was Ross. That was Richyrich's favorite basketball player. Even I was begging him. I was like, "Yo, dog, yeah, you gonna leave Wade like that, dog? Man? Fuck D Wade. If you're gonna sit there and just hand your team over, I'm done with you, man." He basically punked his pilot the situation. It was hilarious. Yep. That's
think about it, man. If you let somebody like LeBron James come and take over your team, it explains everything that's been happening in his life since then.
Yep.
The media and Gabrielle Union have been running his family, bro. What they say is good is good. We know ain't no black man is good with their son wanting to be a girl.
Nope.
We know that, man.
Nope.
And we definitely not saying no stupid shit that she decided when she was 3.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 3 years old, I thought I was fucking Optimus Prime.
Exactly.
You could not have told me that I wasn't a Transformer, man.
Yep.
I watched that shit every second of the day. I had all the toys. I thought I was that shit. What do you know?
Yep. Around that age, I thought I was Lionel from Thundercats.
Right. You couldn't tell you no difference.
Yep.
When you 3, you where the fuck you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean tell me that it would have made sense for me to decide then, like I'm Optimus Prime and I'm finna reconfigure my body to like a humanoid 18-wheeler?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. 3-year-olds don't get to make no decisions. That's hogwash. That's some fucking bullshit. D Wade know what he really did. He sold his kids out so he could get some plug.
Exactly.
In the media.
Yep.
He a punk for that, man.
Yep.
And he's not from Chicago. For everybody who think that shit, he is not from Chicago, man.
He's from Robbins, Illinois.
He's from Robbins, Illinois. Don't you ever fucking forget it. Don't you ever forget it.
Yeah, that's what it say. It say Robbins, Illinois.
Yeah, but he be trying to claim the shot, man. Fuck out of here with that shit. We already know, man. Granted, people have their own walks of life. People grow and become adults and do what they want to do. But
man, Chicagoans stick together. I can tell you that much. Because if you say anything about Kanye, though, Ross on your head, Chicagoans stick together, boy.
Ain't no kid making no adult decisions like that.
Mm-hmm.
No. Hell no. D Wade a punk, man.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about D Wade, man.
Yeah, yeah.
D-Wade.
Yep. 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 We should have known the LeBron decision was letting us know that. And Gabrielle Union was right there saying, well, yeah, he got to, Wade gave his team up, but, that's the thing. You got to make sacrifices. Of course, because he did his shit with your ass, too.
Right. Right. But that's all I got on that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Shoot, we covered pretty much all the damn topics. You know, we would be here all night, man. We cover everything, man. We cover everything. We delved into all of the nitty gritties. You guys have a great Sunday. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Ross, appreciate you, man. As always, Richyrich. You know how I feel, man. So appreciate you. Everyone that was in the chat, appreciate you guys. And Zeddy, you know the drill. You know now. See, now your ass ain't asking that question no more. So anybody that asks that question, I'm gonna make it very clear and recap it. It's a new standard because we don't want you coming in to the live with a dirty white beater. You say, "Oh, let me get on the live." Next thing you know, you got a dirty white beater on, and then you look cracked the hell out, and then you look bad, and then you just bring the whole atmosphere down. At least if you're gonna do that, at least if I know I made $40-$50 off your ass, I won't feel too bad that happened. But I'm still gonna cut you off after a certain timeline, whatever the timeline is. So $40, you get 40 minutes to look like trash. But you best remember once that 39-minute and 59-second is hidden, you X'd out. So Zeddy, just remember, you want 5 minutes, you got to pay $5. You want 10 minutes, you got to pay $10. You want 15 minutes, you got to pay $15. I don't care if your appearance is up to par. You want to get some time here next to the panel, next to the superstars, your ass need to fucking pay. That's just the way it rolls. Mm-hmm. Because you guys have been getting great content from great connoisseurs of basketball. Week in and week out, we've been delivering to you guys for years in and years out. Now it's time for you motherfuckers to hand out and donate. And I'm not going to sit here and be nice about asking donations. Because let me tell you guys something. There's other channels that tell you straight up, you need to fucking donate if you want to even show your face. And you know what y'all do? Y'all fucking donate. So don't act like me talking like this is PC or it is rude, is this? No. You want to show your ugly face. You want to show your crusty face. You want to show your weird background, whatever that background is, because remember, we have to consume that environment of yours. If we're going to consume that for a period of time, the donation needs to match that. And Zeddy said, I'm a Kobe fan. I don't give a damn if you're a Kobe fan. I don't know what you look like. And I don't know how you talk. You might have a squeaky voice. You might have an irritable voice that irks the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. But at least I know if I got $20, 20 minutes out of you, then I could tolerate it because you paid. So just remember that, Zeddy. Remember that, everyone that showed up and showed out. We're going to give you the time, but you got to pay. Just like you go everywhere else, and you pay and you donate freely and you don't have any problems, you're going to have to do that over here too. You want to contribute in any fashion outside of what you're doing in the chat and you want to graduate yourself, then you graduate yourself with a donation. That's how you graduate yourself. All right? So y'all be easy. Y'all have a great Sunday. Tomrosstv, it was real. Richyrich, it was real. Y'all tune in next week. We're going to have some hot topics that we're going to talk about, and we're going to delve into some specific stuff. Zeddy said, I just want to chop it up. Come on, man. I love the content. Appreciate that you love the content, but if you love the content, you go donate to the content. Mm-hmm. Remember, if you go to another channel that you like, you are going to come over here with that nonsense, right? You're going to donate. I see the way you guys roll. Y'all come in, salute, $25, salute, $50. Well, you going to have to do that over here, too. Salute, $50. I see y'all. Y'all try to act brand new. You opera singers, yeah. You go to other channels, yeah. Y'all wanna show stand out. Hey man, get me on. And you know what the channel content creator is gonna tell you? Hey, you want to be on the channel? You know you got to donate. Mm-hmm. So don't act like what I'm saying is brand new here.
You know what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. Your ass want to show up? Donate. All right. He's like, that's low key smart. Of course, you're talking to a genius here. Who you think you're talking to? A dodo head? Mm-hmm. I'm a genius. Your ass want to be on the show. You want to show your ugly, crusty face. You want to show your buck teeth, your yuck teeth. Mm-hmm. You want to show, and you want to let us. You got to understand, it's not just me. It's the panel too. I have to be respectful to the panel. It's not just me that's losing brain cells. Tom Ross may be losing brain cells. Richyrich may be losing brain cells listening to you. So in doing that, you pay us the fact that we've wasted our time and you doing brain cells, and that's it. You get a time limit. You're not gonna be on the panel with us. No more of that shit. You don't look the part. You look unkept. You want to come in? No. You getting on the time limit. I already gave you the number. Now there's also a minute. You could do a minute too. Just make sure you donate that $1. That's it. It's really simple. The next time you know the rules of engagement. Anybody else that participate, they know the rules of engagement. You want to show up, you want to participate on the show, come in and you donate. That's it. There's not going to be no, oh, I'm asking you guys, you please donate. No, none of that bullshit. You want to show yourself, donate. Other than that, stay your ass in the chat and be a chat warrior. That we accept you to chat all you want, because chat brings interaction, it brings engagement. We love it. So now, Zeddy, you know the rules of engagement. If you want to stay a chat warrior, we will accept that. But if you want to graduate yourself, now you know in the back of your mind, it's stuck into your subconscious mind. When I come to He Knows Everything's platform, and I'm actually putting that in Tomrosstv subconscious platform mind too. If I step into Tomrosstv, and I know Tomrosstv is like, you guys donate if you guys want to. No, I'm putting that energy for him too. You want to put your time and waste your crusty ass time on his platform? Fucking donate, man. We work too hard and give you guys too much good content to be even asking you motherfuckers nicely. Fuck that bullshit. You donate. That's it. It's really simple. That's all I got to say, man. Y'all be easy and y'all have a great Sunday. Peace.